Hello and welcome to my flip presentation. Today we're going to be talking about feedback in the classroom. So let's go ahead and look at the types of feedback. An article that talks about feedback also contains just other influences in the classroom. It's called the Glossary of Hays Influences on Student Achievement. So within the feedback section, it talks about some different types, and the first one would be task, process, and self-level feedback. What this does is it gives students a well-rounded amount of feedback, and it talks about the actual information on their performance level, such as if you're talking about a student's essay, you can say, oh, you did a great job writing this paragraph, or this paragraph needs a little bit of work on your sentences, or just various things like that. The second type of feedback would be self-level only. So an example of this would be good job or well done, and this does not really help the students understand their progress. While it is encouraging, it doesn't really give them any specifics. So the third type of feedback would be teacher to student, and the fourth is student to teacher. All right, so then let's look at tips for teachers. So an article called 5 Research-Based Tips for Providing Students with Meaningful Feedback obviously gives us 5 tips. The first one would be to be specific. So again, like just talking about feedback to the students, we want to talk about what they've done well on specific tasks, what they haven't done well, what they might need some work on. The second tip is to give feedback as soon as possible. So try and get your grading done quickly and give it back often and with specifics again. And then also, if you're there with a student, go ahead and just tell them right away like how they're doing. The third tip would be to tell them how close they are to their goal. So by doing certain assignments, tell students like what this assignment would do to help them reach their goal, or once they're finished with it, how close they are to reaching their goal for like their grade or for the end of the semester. The fourth tip would be to be careful. You never know how your words are going to be taken by students. Some students need strict feedback, and other students need relaxed, and some need a little bit of both. So know your students well and understand what kind of feedback they're going to need. And then our fifth tip would be to involve the students. So give them access to their progress all throughout the semester, throughout the year, show them their grades, give them plenty of feedback throughout all of that, maybe make notes to them that they can have access to. So yeah, just make sure that you involve the students for each step. All right, so then we have student to teacher feedback. So some teachers think like, is this necessary? Do we really need to involve the students in giving us feedback? And yes, we actually do. So why is it necessary? Well, the first point is that it improves your future lessons. So if you ask students like, hey, what worked well to teach you this lesson, you can use that in future years, or even just for the next lesson. Yeah, again, and it also just makes for a better teacher, which is the third point. But the second one is to understand what students need help with specifically. So if you ask students, hey, what are you struggling with right now? They can actually tell you, and by using that, you can help the student be more successful. So then let's look at like how you obtain that feedback, and an article called 3 Ways of Getting Student Feedback to Improve Your Teaching obviously gives us 3 ways. So the first one would be a group discussion at the end of the year. So this would just be the teacher kind of initiating and asking students all together, some questions of, hey, what did you enjoy learning about this year? What did you not enjoy learning about? Various things like that, or what was your favorite activity that helped you learn? Did you like doing hands-on or worksheets or coloring, or just various arts and crafts maybe? Another way you could get feedback from students is an end of the year survey. You could do this, paper and pen, or you could do this online. You could do this just like on the board maybe. And then another good way for feedback would be to receive anonymous notes from students throughout the year. Students could just leave them on your desk or maybe in a box, and they don't have to write their names on them, obviously, and that way you can just kind of know where you're at with the students, where the students are at, what might need some work, and that just gives like an immediate response from you and to the students. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this presentation. These are my sources. This is what I looked at, and I hope you guys enjoy learning about feedback.